Lion Saba Islam. Thank you for being part of Lions International News18 SheShakti 2025. I'd like to welcome you. And to begin with, Saba, you don so many hats, that of an emotional intelligence trainer, of an educator, of a parent's coach. Share with me that one experience which motivated you to sort of take up this entire journey, and those experiences that have defined this deep bond with children and with families.
Hi, thank you so much for having me over here. And She Shakti by News 18, we are so glad to be participating here. As Lions, we love it. And let me tell you, it's not just one incident, but two of them. The very first one was the day I turned a mother. So I had this thing that, and especially the birth of my second daughter. That is the most defining moment. I wouldn't be the person I am had I not been a parent. So that's where things changed for me. And the second is when I joined Lions. These are the two moments which actually gives me the passion to keep on doing the things which I am doing. Because one, it keeps me happy. It keeps me young. I save so much of money on those skincare, young products. And third, most importantly, now I have a community of people. We suddenly feel like, there's somebody who's sharing the same craziness, and we have this bond where we feel like, okay, we somehow have this whole responsibility on us that we want to leave everything a little better than we found it. Probably everyone a little better than we found it. So this is how which I just keep going because of all these
That's
things.
such a heartwarming thing to have heard, and that's why I want to ask you. You've often said that when a mother is nurtured, it's not just the family, but an entire nation thrives. Give me an example from your own personal experience that brings that idea to life, something that we as mothers, because I'm also one, can take away from your experience.
So mothers and their stories are umpteen, endless. Probably I could just start off with my own mother and myself and then
Why
go
not?
on. And it's like I am sitting here today is because of my mother, because she's taking the responsibility. Probably even as a matter of fact, my husband's mother. So mother in itself is now a very fascinating term. And I love to bask into the feeling of that, we're so blessed to be mothers. So it's like that. And when we work, because at Lions we work a lot with neurodiverse children and children with cancer, that is where I would love to tell people, I said, walk into the pediatric ward sometimes, walk into our events and just check out how these mothers have this resilience, and they are like just the go-getters, and there's so much which they are doing. So, you've often heard that behind every successful man, there's a woman, kind of a saying. But I feel behind everyone, there's a mother. Has to be a mother who believed in you and probably gave in it. So, a thriving...
But don't you also think that it takes a village to raise a child, and a mother needs that little hamlet to raise her child?
So that's exactly where our community comes into the picture. The reason why we are thriving, because a thriving mother is not a luxury. It's the need of the nation, it's the need of the community. So that's where we come into a picture, be it with my own organization which I work with, the Happy Mommy Place or the Lions International. We live and swear by community living and community services.
Emotional intelligence is something that you've been working on for years, even though it's now come into the sort of contemporary discussions. But you've been working on it for quite some time. So for our audiences, what are those simple ways that we can help build emotional intelligence with our children and even with parents at home?
So one thing for me was, it's been always sure that, I start off something and it's so difficult to explain. You can imagine 8 years back, me trying to explain what emotional intelligence is all about. But now that you have so much of help, so much of support, even at Lions, we have a fantastic program for emotional intelligence called the Lions Quest. And Happy Mommy Place, we build a pool of activities which we give out for families to do it at home. Like, I could just share it online and, you do this one activity at home. So we have these parenting cafes, or the mothers coming or the children coming together. So if I had to share one little activity or two activities with you, first and foremost, I love the idea of a family circle time. I have this problem with this quality time, quantity time and stuff like that. A family circle time is nothing but simply a time of being together. It's just being together where nobody complains, nobody blames, and we just listening to each other. So that works. Even we don't have to be parenting 24 hours in a day. So even if it is a like 10-15 minutes time of building connection, that works. And one thing which works miraculously is the ability to name your feelings. If that is something which we can empower each other with, I think we will be like, really doing something wonderful for ourselves and children.
Because in the older generations, there was always this reluctance to acknowledge the child's emotions. It was either labeled as self-pity, or you've not struggled enough in life, so why are you complaining? Is it time to change that approach?
Exactly. It's the time where we need to build a vocabulary of feelings. We don't even have the vocabulary. We could probably just name 10 of them on our fingertips, but it's like a huge varied thing. So if you have the power to name it, that's the moment you can tame it. So that's the power of just naming your feelings. So I love these activities at home where, whether it be a conversation starter or something which has happened, and you can just say, okay, tell me, what were you feeling? So let's all of us get into the habit of accepting and acknowledging a feeling the way it is. Nobody needs to analyze it. Nobody needs to compartmentalize it into good and bad, whatever. Just be there with that.
So that's the message you have for the parents. You spoke about building the happy mommy place, which of course, according to you, is the safe and soulful space for mothers that you've built. So for all those mothers like me who are juggling between family pressures, the paucity of time, and also battling guilt, what is that one key message that you'd like to deliver to mothers for their own psychological health, given that you're running this happy mommy space?
So I always like to start with, sote sote उठ जाती होगी कभी, हिम्मत वाली मम्मी भी थक जाती होगी कभी, तो कभी जो पड़ जाए हिम्मत तुम्हारी कम, फिक्र न करना तुम संभाल लेंगे हम. So it's like that's the reason Happy Mommy Place is there for you, because you are not alone. I just want to give this reminder to mothers. It's okay. You are not alone. We're all struggling, probably different struggles, different paces, different magnitude, but we're all in the same boat. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to don your cape all the time. And nobody is looking in for perfection. Can we just focus on the present? And believe me, children do not need perfect mothers. All they need is a happy one.
Through Lions International, you have led programs on child safety, childhood cancer awareness, even community building. These are very tricky and tough emotional areas. So what inspired you to take up this journey? Also, do share your experiences of resilience that can inspire our listeners today.
So every time, whenever I have to go through, like, I have these pediatric cancer ward visits, or, when we have to do these activities, every time my mind would give me 10,000 reasons of not going. There'll be too much of traffic. Okay, fine, you can go next day. And they'll give me 2,000 reasons of not to be there. But the moment I am there, and after the event, when I come out of the hospital, or it's a different feeling altogether. The gratitude which builds up for everything which you have. I think my perspective towards life, towards death has changed completely. And the lessons of resilience which children have given me, or I have learned because of them, is like, it cannot even be like, I can't even express it. So that's where I become so thankful for Lions as a community, because like I was saying that, we get together with like-minded people, and we might just be tired because we're working from morning till the evening. but we go back home with so much of energy, so much of gratitude in our heart, that we have the ability to think more. I say, you get tired, you go back. I said, now we're not going to do anything. We need to relax. But after the event, it's like, I'm so glad we did that. And now we're looking forward to the next one. Let's do
Perhaps
something
it's the
else.
gratitude that wires your mind also to think in a positive direction.
And you actually have this, like, when you look at children smiling, having fun, your little things which you do over there, and that brings them so much of happiness. At that moment you feel this is life. Probably it's a parallel life which is running, but they give you so much to learn from them.
After all, life is too short to live, so live it to the fullest.
Exactly.
That's why my last question, through Lions International, the work that you are doing and your own initiatives, what's that next big dream that you're working upon, and how can people who are inspired by your initiative or who wish to support your initiative join you?
So I'll tell you what the whole idea with is that first and foremost we're looking at building the mental health and expanding that work. So we're celebrating mental health wellness week, and we're looking forward to creating those spaces, and then creating safe spaces for women, mothers, as a matter of fact, and even creating safety nets for children through our programs where we talk about gadget addiction, we talk about child sexual abuse or drug addiction. So through this, we are looking at developing these spaces for both mother and child, and as a matter of fact, creating more safe spaces for women. And everyone's invited. Anybody can volunteer, be it a parent, be it somebody who just wants to sponsor it, somebody who just wants to create an awareness. We are welcome to everybody.
Saba, what are the challenges that you find in your day-to-day life when you are trying to create this awareness, and through your initiatives or even through the work that you're doing with Lions International? What are the challenges on ground?
Challenges basically come in when people find it difficult to manage time. So, but that again is a big myth, which I feel that, you'll always be pressed for time. It's how you take it forward. And probably when going out and doing services like this, I can't give you a financial return for that, and there are no numbers attached. But those returns come in such meaningful ways, in other ways that you can't even define that. Those come in as magic into your lives. Things happen as magic, and you're like, how did this happen? And probably it's because one of the things which you do. I just like to put in over here that the reason why we would want other people to join in, because when an idea is small, then it can just fit into your palm of your hands. But when you make it a little big, you stretch out your hand and you make it a bigger. But when the idea is huge and we want to create big impact, then we need other hands to hold that idea and take it forward. So that's the impact.
May you find many more hands to join you and your initiative, and to join Lions International as
Absolutely.
well. It's been a pleasure having you here, Saba Islam. Thank you for joining in on Lions International SheShakti 2025. May you thrive. May the tribe at Lions International grow.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you too.